to be our authentic self, to create freedom and to live the life that we truly want to live, we have to go deep within. And the work is us. It's not outside of you. I have 100% commitment to me above and beyond everything else. What would that look like for you? If you are 100% committed to your journey, your mission, creating the life that you love, what would that actually look like? And where is the resistance? Because I can feel it already. I can feel it in people. There's a resistance that, oh my God, no. Where is the resistance in you to committing to yourself at that level? And knowing that this experience is about you creating your best human experience. It's not about you doing it for other people or other people doing it for you or you needing validation from other people. Because even in the sense of your authenticity, my question to you would be, right now, whose life are you actually living? Are you living your life? Are you truly living your life? Or are you living the life that other people dictated that you should live? And what would that truly look like if you took off all of the shackles, all of the barriers, took away the fears? What would you really want then? Would you really say that I am living the fullest experience of being who I am? Would you know how that felt? Would you even know what that looked like? Being the fullest expression of you? Because we start to suppress ourselves, because from our childhood, what we learn is that I need to mold myself into what is going to be pleasing to other people. Because then I'll get the validation, then I'll get the hug, then I'll get the love, then I'll get the acknowledgement. If I do this, and I'm like this, and if I behave like this, and if I look like this, and if my body looks like this. So then is that authentically you? Do you actually feel happy in that? Is it fulfilling you? Is it making you excited to live your life? You see, for me, these are the things, like this is the work. These are the questions that start to shift everything. Because I can give you a massive narrative with lots of concepts and be like, okay, here's lots of handouts and like and I guarantee you leave it in a cupboard and you won't read it again. Right? So for me, it's about you reflecting instantly. It's about you going, okay, do you know what? Maybe there's a different possibility. Maybe I can do something different. Because you cannot call in a different experience into your life unless you change. How can I experience something different outside of me if I'm still being who I've always been inside of me? So if I'm the person that's believing that I'm not lovable, but yet I'm waiting and I'm going to manifest my true love. How does that work? How does that work? Because even if they showed up at that point, you would not believe it because you don't think you're lovable. So you would sabotage it in some way, shape or form because your mind would be going, oh my God, this is not possible. Because I don't even love me like that. So how could you? Right, so everything you want to call into your life, the things that you really want to experience and manifest, they're on the other side of you changing within. Because we can only attract what we are. So to attract something different, in the first instance, you need to know who you are. And that's where people avoid it. It's like I'm avoiding my feelings, I'm avoiding my thoughts. And a lot of people in this space, the starting space is I am living the victim. I am a victim of life. I am a victim of other people. I am a victim of my thoughts. I am the victim of my feelings. And it was really interesting because when I was reflecting on this today, when I was walking, what I realized is that for so long in my life, I lived in that mode, in that victim mode, because I went through abusive relationships and my parents had awful relationship and I was sexually abused and I had eating disorders and all of these things. So I lived in the victim. And it suited me, it served me, it served a purpose because that was my story, that was my narrative. And that's what I created in my life, situations where I was always a victim. And then when I was thinking about it today, that victim felt so uncomfortable to me. It was like, wow, I'm no longer her because I don't need that anymore. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore. It just doesn't fit. But that journey isn't one of me sitting there going, right, so I'm being the victim in this and this and this. I have to see it when I'm doing it. In every moment, I am present to myself. I'm watching. And I spoke about this a little bit yesterday. But the only way to get a true idea of who you're currently being is to take on the task of going, like, I'm just going to observe myself. And for any of you that are truly committed to it, try it for like a week. Just watch yourself with curiosity, with the curiosity and intrigue of a child. What's going on here? And I promise you, you will find a narrative that runs through everything. You will find a similarity in the way you respond to certain things again and again and again, because you're just on autopilot. So the only way we can change things is to really slow down, understand where we are right now, understand how this is serving me, and to make that decision. Do I want to experience something different? And that's a big question to ask yourself, because again, with a lot of clients, when I'm doing the work, the first thing I'm doing is looking at, how are you committing to yourself? How are you committing to this process? Because there are so many people that start something and stop it, start something and stop it, read 100 books and don't do anything about it. I've got all the knowledge, I know all of this, but it's pointless if you're not actually going to do it and be it. So ask yourself, am I committed to what I want to create? Do I actually know what I want to create? What is my commitment level to me? So if I ask you now on a scale of 1 to 10, for your own benefit, if you can write down, where would you put yourself on that scale, with 10 being like, I am fully committed to me and my process and my journey and my soul mission and my soul consciousness, and 1 being, I'm not. And it's about being honest with yourself, because this is the thing. If I'm frightened, it's better for me to say, I'm really scared right now because I'm stepping into something new, than to not say it and to suppress it. And then it's just going to come out of you in every single way and sabotage what you're trying to create, because you're not verbalizing it, because you're not acknowledging it. But as soon as you go, do you know what? I'm really frightened. I'm really frightened that I might not be able to do this. You've called yourself out. You get the opportunity to process it differently rather than doing what you always do. And this is the thing, we're on a repeated pattern. So if you're not living in the present, the only place you can really live from is the past. Because our mind is not there. Our brain doesn't sit there and go, oh, this situation is different to that situation. It just is on repeat. And it's going, oh my God, you reacted like this when this happened, so you're going to have to react like that again. The only way that you can change that is to be present. And for me, one of the sayings that I love, which one of my tutors told me when I was doing my degree, was, if you have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, you are pissing on your present. Okay. And the present is the only place you can live. The present is the only place that you can truly experience yourself as you are. Right? And our world, our life, this human experience, it is literally just billions of this moment. And this moment, and this moment. And that's it. There is nothing back there. The only place my past really exists is in here. So I get to choose, right? I get to choose. Am I going to be my past and I'm going to drag it into everything that I do and am? Or am I going to be and experience living here. And for me, really beautiful souls, a lot of this is just about decisions. Make the commitment, make the decision, make the commitment, make the decision. And then you go for it. It's like, okay, so I'm making this decision and I'm accountable to it. And when you say you can't do it, I really want you to reframe that and go, I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing not to commit to myself. I'm choosing not to make a different decision. I'm choosing not to allow myself to be free. I'm choosing not to create a life that I love. I'm choosing not to show up for myself. Because it isn't I can't do it. It's I'm choosing not to. I won't do it. I don't want to do it. Because believe me, okay, and this is one of those moments, believe me, if I am sat here having this conversation with you right now, I know that you can do anything. I know that you can do anything. Our limitation is when we are sat in our mind. But what is it that excites you? What are you passionate about? What gets you going, oh my God, I would love to live this experience every single day. And not be ashamed of it and not be like, play it small and like, because this is another thing that we do, right? Like, how can you do that to yourself? How can you minimize yourself in that way? You've got to give yourself the full experience. So this year, I would love for you to reflect on, okay, what am I really passionate about? What excites me? How can I step into my excitement on a daily basis? Because creation, manifestation, whatever it is, it's about following your excitement every single day, every step of the way. Even when we're doing things that might feel difficult, it's all about how am I framing it? How am I framing that? So at one point, I essentially was homeless. And fortunately, at that point, I'd done a lot of work on me. I'd connected to my soul journey. A few years ago, good few years ago, I would have sat there in shame, in humiliation. I wouldn't even be able to say it, even now. Like I wouldn't have been able to verbalize it out loud because of the shame and the guilt and the humiliation and all of those things. And I guarantee I would have been sitting there going, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. The thing that really, really helped me was being present to my mindset. And every time one of those thoughts or feelings would come up, I would sit with it in a really caring way and be like, okay, I'm listening to you. I really hear you. I feel your struggle. I do. I understand. But also I'm very, very aware that this is an old narrative because I can do this. It doesn't say anything about who I am. It doesn't say anything about my worth because my worth is in who I am. It's not in what I do. So then you have all these stories. You see how those stories like really sit in our head. And then it's like, I'm not worthy of these things. So then I chose to see it because I get the choice. I can see it as a terrible thing, or I can go, wow, I'm on some adventure. My soul has written some magical blueprint for me that's going to take me somewhere amazing. But I need to experience this first. I need to experience this first because it's part of my growth. And it's also part of what I have signed up to. I was supposed to experience this for a very specific reason. And ultimately, our human experience is meaningless. It has no meaning until we decide that it has a meaning. Because if we put 1,000 people in a room and they all experience the exact same experience, would all of their experience, like, would everybody's thoughts be aligned? No. Would everybody feel exactly the same? No. So then we're choosing our response based on our past, based on who we believe we are. So to respond to life as it's happening, you have to be here. And you have to go, okay, why am I choosing this response? Why am I choosing to feel this way? And once we start to clear those things and we understand our narrative, then we can create new beliefs. So when you're looking at your limiting beliefs and you're looking at the beliefs that are not serving you, I would also like you to consider, what would I like to believe? What do I really want to believe about myself? What do I want to believe about life and how it works? Because you get a choice. Because beliefs aren't ultimate truth. They're what we choose to be true. So I would really love for you to dig into that. What do I want to believe? What do I want to believe? I personally want to believe that my life flows freely and easily. Whereas I used to believe that it was really, really hard work, life hated me, and I hated life. So you can imagine what kept coming my way, right? Just like constant things that kept going, you see how hard life is, Amy? You see? You see? So, but I had to stay in that story. I had to stay in that story because otherwise my whole vision of what this world was would have shattered and I wouldn't have known what to do. Be like, oh my God, no. So then you're doing everything in your power to prove it. So it's really about how can I embed this? Okay. So it's about writing it down. It's about showing up to it every single day and going, okay, I choose to believe this. I choose to believe that I am lovable. I choose to believe that I can create a life that I love. I choose to believe that I am completely worthy of everything that I desire. And then it's about reprogramming. So it's repetition, repetition, repetition. Why do I have a t-shirt that says self-love warrior on it? Because my starting point was wanting to love me. And then I got to a certain point where I was like, unashamedly, I love me. Unapologetically. Because this relationship is the deepest, longest, most intimate relationship I'm ever going to have. So why would I not want to give myself the very best experience of life? Why would I not want to be everything that I chose to be? You chose that body. You chose the experiences that you wanted to have for your soul growth. Why would you not love the person you chose to be? Like I used to hate my curly hair. I used to moan and I used to straighten it and I used to envy people that could just wash their hair and walk out the house and it would just be like flowing and it's looking like it's blow dried. And now I'm like, yo, I chose this. I chose this for a reason. So I love it. I would never have shown up like this to anything like 5-6 years ago. Honestly. So what's different? Not how people see me, how I see myself. And now, whereas before I would have been going, oh my God, are they sitting there looking at me weird, thinking, oh my God, like, is her hair weird? And then I realized that that's what I'm thinking about me, right? Nobody else is thinking that. Nobody, right? Because I get lots of people to come out to go, oh my God, did you have a perm? It looks great. I'm like, no, this is my natural hair. This is how it is, right? So why would you not love every part of what you chose to be? Everything. I chose the experiences I have and have had. And it's not, I'm not saying like, you know, my children's dad tried to kill me. And I'm not saying yay to that experience. But if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't see the world the way that I do. I wouldn't be doing the work that I do. But the thing is, it's gone and it's done. So I can forever be the person that sits here and goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, people are going to do that to me. Or I can expand outwards and I can keep my heart open. And I can believe and know that there is nobody that can take my essence away from me. Absolutely not. Because a lot of us hold that belief that we're broken and we're damaged and all of these kind of things. It's not possible. Your soul, the essence of who you are, is undamageable. It's eternal. So in our human and our vessel, yes, I've been hurt physically and emotionally and mentally. But that was about me experiencing the full spectrum of what it is to be human. Because being a human doesn't exist over here in a little box where it's like, the only way to be human is to be happy. And if I'm not happy, I'm not really doing human right. That's not how this works. Like, imagine you sat there and you were like, oh my God, like this full spectrum of the human experience is what I came here to have. All of it. So if I'm isolated over here and all I'm having is this, what I perceive to be this wonderful experience, then you've not really experienced the full spectrum of being a human. We chose to be human because we wanted to experience all of these things. And if I cannot feel the despair of being a human at times, how am I going to appreciate the absolute level of love that I can also feel? We don't have pick a mix when it comes to our emotions and things. Like, it's not like if you choose not to feel one thing, you're not going to feel the other thing either. It's not like, if I won't fully let myself feel the despair or the pain, how can I fully feel the love? I can't. It's not possible. So in this process of being authentically who you are, it's really about, I am allowing my feelings. If I am feeling rubbish right now, then I am feeling rubbish right now. I don't have to become that though. But if I don't acknowledge it, I become it because I'm suppressing it. Right? Yeah, I have really, really awful days, but I don't become the awful day. I don't write my day off because of it. I don't make myself awful because of it. So to me, being authentically you is you allowing yourself to feel all of it, to be here for all of it, to express all of you. And most people are just not used to doing that, right? You put on this mask, you assess what it's like to walk into a room, you mold yourself to the experience that people want they want of you. And then you wonder why you don't feel satisfied or fulfilled. And then very often, especially when I'm working with my clients, it's like, but nobody's seeing me, Amy, and they don't acknowledge me, and I don't feel validated, and I don't feel witnessed. And it's like, who are you presenting though? When you walk into every situation, relationship, job, who are you presenting? You're presenting a mask. People are responding to your mask. You're attracting what's drawn to your mask. If you can't even see you, if you can't even be authentic with you, then why are you expecting somebody else to see your authenticity, to experience your authenticity? It's not going to happen, right? So what would allow you to be authentic with yourself? To not pretend that I'm okay, to not pretend that all of it's easy, to not pretend when I'm struggling, to not pretend that actually I don't like being in this situation, I really don't want to talk to you today. So what would allow you to be authentic to you in the first instance? Not everybody else, you. Reflect on that. Are you truly authentic with yourself? Do you actually acknowledge what's going on for you? And if not, how can you allow yourself? Sometimes it helps if we start with doing it with the child in us. If we sit that child in front of us, you can do it with an empty chair. It's like, what would allow you to let that child authentically express themselves to you? And try it. Take a photo of that child self, sit it in front of you, and then reflect on the question, right? Because my authentic self, I discovered, like, because everybody wants labels as well, right? It's like, I'm an introvert and I'm an extrovert and I'm the ambivert and and it's kind of like, I don't like labels because on any given day, I might be introverted and then I might shift into being an extrovert. And then I might be a bit of both. But it's the fact that we need to label ourselves and we need to put ourselves into boxes. So then I become that and I stay that. And I have to be that. Right. I like when I used to work with children, every time it would be like, oh, this child's got anger management issues. The child would come to me and go, I've got anger issues. A 6-year-old walking into room, I've got anger issues. I can't help it. So already, you see how we are conditioned? So that child is then growing up going, I've got anger issues. I can't help it. I'm just like this. So now I'm going to go and beat somebody up and I can't help it because I got anger issues. Right? It's like, what labels are you carrying? What are you telling yourself? Because it's that narrative that is running your life. And I really want you to nail it. And I know I've said this many times in the events, but it's like, what is your narrative? Really listen to it. And really listen to the words that you are saying about yourself. Because even for the people that know, I know, I guarantee is like self-deprecating when we talk to other people, telling jokes about yourself in a not very nice way, putting yourself down, not expressing the fullness of you. Your narrative is what is creating your experience of life. They're the words, they're spells. Once we put it out there, you've created it. And so for me, I am super careful about the things that I say about me to myself and other people. And when I catch myself being harsh on myself, I apologize. Sorry, Amy. Treat yourself as you want to be treated. Apologize. Be tender. Be loving. Allow. And from those spaces, then you can accelerate. What is it that I want to create in my life? Because then you're being authentic. Then you're in this moment. And we can only create from where we're at. So for the creation exercise, for those of you that would love to do it and to love to actually create something for yourself this year, the exercise I'm going to give you is called creating your declarations. The declarations start with, I choose the end result of. You only pick between 5 and 8, no more. And you get specific. So one of mine is, I choose the end result of perfect health. Every cell in my body is filled with love. It cleanses, it heals, it optimizes, it regenerates on a daily basis. I choose the end result of living in alignment with my soul. I choose the end result of living in my sacred soul sanctuary. Get specific. Because the only thing you need to focus on is the end result. What do I want to create? The how is not up to you. The how, you have to release that to the universe. Show me how. And the steps will come to you. The thing you need to get specific about, and minimum 3 times a day, create your declarations, stick them somewhere you can see them, have them on your phone, record them with your own voice, listen to them as many times as possible, but at least 3 times a day, commit to saying your declarations out loud with the passion, like they're already here. Because it's emotion that drives it. Okay? I choose the end result of, and go big. This is not about playing small. Go big. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because I can already see it's like, actually, what do I want to create? What is the end result that I want to choose? What is it? What is it? What is it? Really think about it. What is the end result? Because the end result is about the experience that you wish to have. Commit to it for 90 days and see what happens. But the bottom line is, it doesn't work if you've got those limiting beliefs as your running story. The story needs to change. Because it's about I believe that I am worthy of creating this. I believe I've already created it. It's just about the universe and divine timing. Commit to that process. Read it all the time. Say it whenever you can. Whenever I am doing anything like washing dishes or anything like that, what I'm thinking about, and it's about mind mastery. So rather than having these endless thoughts in my head that just go round and round and round, I'm very specific and on purpose. So I'm doing my declarations. I choose the end result of this. I choose the end result of that. And then you're in that feeling state. So your energy, give it the energy. Like I've recorded mine, I've recorded them like this. I speaking like this. I speaking like this. I am speaking like this with the passion because I deserve it. You deserve it. But you're the only one that can create it. Right? And it's that freedom from within. And again, the freedom, what does freedom actually mean to you? What is it? Because a lot of people go external and it's like, I'm free when I've got the money and I'm free when I've got the house and I'm free when I don't have to work. But freedom can only be experienced in here. Are you free emotionally? Are you free mentally? Or are you bound by your emotions and your thoughts? Because I know I'm not. And I work very, very hard with my clients so that they can get that like freedom from within. Because once you're free in here, you'll experience a beautiful freedom out there. But it starts here. You cannot be free or experience freedom unless you're free from your mind. So another thing that you might want to try is sit down and write down your thoughts. I don't care if it takes 2 hours, 10 hours, like keep coming back to it. Write down your thoughts, because when you verbalize it, when you write it down and you look at them, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that these are the things I'm allowing to go around my head 24/7. It's that as soon as you make yourself aware of it, you can change it. And that's the beauty of this process and the soul process. As soon as you make yourself aware of something, you've already changed the energy of it. Right? Do that as an exercise for yourself. And if any of you want to come back and feed back to me, you know where to find me on Odyssey. You can find me. You can find me on my socials. I would love to hear what's come out of it. And that is your point of accountability as well. Get accountable. Get accountable, because your thoughts, you're accountable for them. They're not just happening. They don't control you. Right now, it's like easy street. It's like, oh, this is just happening. That's all that ever happens. I can't change it. But when you write down your thoughts, ask yourself, wow, do I really want to be thinking this 24 hours a day? Like, really? What experience am I having in my internal landscape? What am I creating in here? Get conscious about it all.